It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now,
here is Rob Carson. There we go. Okay, we are rocking and rolling. Again, I apologize. We had a little bit of an issue with some technical stuff, but we are ready to rock and roll, ready to get the party started here on the Rob Carson Show. For those of you who are tuning in on iTunes, this is going to be episode number 261. Episode number 261, and it's going to be loaded. We've got a lot of video clips I'm going to share you. We've got a lot of other things I'm going to share with you, audio clips we're going to share. But anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Glad you are joining me today. And please, if you would share on all of your Facebook pages, that would be glorious. Okay? If you would share with your groups on Facebook, that would be glorious. Hold on one second. Again, I hate technical problems. It really bugs me. But that said, let's go ahead and get started. One of the things that happened today, and just a little while ago, the FBI has raided the office of President Trump's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen. Now, Robert Mueller is a POS political tool. That's just what he is. He is a POS political tool. He is using the office to go after Donald Trump. The FBI has become weaponized. It became weaponized during the Obama administration and went after Donald Trump during his campaign. We all know about the FISA warrant, which was bullcrap. It was concocted by a dossier that was paid for by Hillary Clinton, the Democrat Party, and Barack Obama's Organizing for America. And all it was a fishing expedition. Well, the fishing expedition continues. And what's going on now is that they are going after Donald Trump for this settlement by Cohen with Stormy Daniels, which has nothing to do with the original investigation by Robert Mueller. Has nothing to do with it. The Stormy Daniels settlement. They're going after Donald Trump. Again, it is a fishing expedition. Robert Mueller is using the office of the FBI to go after Donald Trump, and it's a deep state proposition. These are people who are out to take down the Trump administration. It was nakedly political during the election. It was nakedly political during the transition, and it's nakedly political now. And it's ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the original FISA warrant, with the original wiretapping of Donald Trump, and their surveilling of Donald Trump and his associates. It's absolute bullcrap. Robert Mueller is trying to save face right now. That's what this is all about. Robert Mueller is merely trying to save face and regain some sort of modicum of credibility by going after the president on another front that wasn't even part of the investigation he's in charge of. I am so damn sick of this crap. Damned sick of it. It's shameful. The FBI, the Internal Revenue Service were all weaponized under the Obama administration. Let me grab another site here real quick, guys. I am looking for me on a couple of other sites, making sure that we are up and running, because I do have much to share, and I do want to be able to watch your comments in real time. All right. So there we go. Okay, we are up on American Journal Review. We are up on Liberty One TV. We're up on Rob Carson Show on Facebook as well. So I want to start by talking a little bit about social media and what social media hath wrought with regard to conservative publishers like this one, okay? This has been going on since the election of Donald Trump, when Facebook, when Twitter, when YouTube all looked, with Google, looked at themselves after Donald Trump won and went, holy crap, by allowing people to have other viewpoints, they may have actually changed the course of the election, all right? By allowing people who support Donald Trump to have a say in social media, these social media sites which have a monopoly on digital reach, they realized that, holy crap, that may have helped get Donald Trump elected, and so they went exclusively after conservative news feeds and conservative publishers like this one. And it's obscene, and it's sickening. Marty has joined me on Rob Carson Show. Waiting for some people to join me on American Journal Review. We know that now Facebook has allowed information to be scraped from people's accounts, as many as all of them in the world. All 2 billion people on Facebook. 87 million people have had their privacy breached. And I'm not saying that you deserve a lot of privacy when you want to share with your 5,000 friends on Facebook, whatever. But at the same time, there's a limit to what should be shared. And I'm going to tell you, the scope and the reach of these social media sites is extraordinary. It is extraordinary. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak shutting down his Facebook account as the social media giant continues to struggle to cope with the worst privacy crisis in its history. Wozniak says Facebook makes a lot of advertiser money from personal details provided by users, and so does Facebook, or not Facebook, but so does Twitter, and so does YouTube, and so does Google. He says the profits are all based on users' info, but the user gets none of the profits back. 100%. When it comes to YouTube, there are a lot of people here busting their asses to do content. Some of it's superfluous and stupid and offensive, whatever. But it is gathering audiences for YouTube where they can run advertising and make tons and tons and tons of money while you're dancing like a little puppy for a treat. You're dancing like a little puppy for a treat while they send you a little here and there. Facebook is shooting itself in the foot. Facebook, when the conservative publishers were allowed to do what they do and share their viewpoint on Facebook, and the reach was gigantic, publishers could make money. But Facebook has decided to make politics number one. And conservative politics are verboten, according to Facebook. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey endorsed an article calling for the Republican Party to be wiped out of the U.S. for at least a couple of generations and replaced by a de facto one-party state controlled by Democrats. This is the Twitter CEO. Now you see where his politics lay. People who get restricted from Twitter because of inappropriate content. Some of that may be sexual, but one of the other ways you're going to get restricted is conservative speech. And if this doesn't say what he believes clearly, then you're not paying attention. And it's sickening. According to the author, a tech CEO, Peter Layden, says a Republican is now so morally indefensible on every level that it is the equivalent of the Confederacy in the Civil War. No, it's not. The Democrat Party is the party of death, the party of division by race and class and sexuality, the party that is pro-abortion, pro-death, the party that supported the KKK and started the KKK, the party of Jim Crow. Give me a break. You want to talk about a party that is morally and intellectually bankrupt. High taxation, high regulation always fails. A broken border that allows anyone to come into the country and affect those who live here, impact our sovereignty and our safety. The party of abortion, like I said. What is morally and intellectually bankrupt? And by the way, Democrat policies always fail. They always fail. Here's what Layden says. The Republican Party over the past 40 years has maneuvered itself into a position where they are the bad guys on the wrong side of history. Well, that's your opinion, you a-hole. But Republican policies always work. Conservative policies always work. For a long time, they've been able to hide this fact through a sophisticated series of veils, including invoking cultural voodoo that fools a large enough number of Americans to stay in the game. Okay, who the hell is calling their party instead of liberal? They won't use the word liberal. They call themselves progressive. They hijacked the word called progressive. They said that liberal policies are progressive. They are not progressive. They are regressive. But they were able to, with a slavish media, call themselves not only blue states, even though they're red They are red left politics. Communism, socialism is red. But a slavish media says, okay, you can call yourself blue. You can call yourself progressive instead of liberal. They don't say liberal. They don't say socialist. They don't say communist. Instead of pro-abortion, they call themselves pro-choice. Pro-choice. Well, I hate to tell you this. When I go to, I don't know if I go to Golden Corral, I'm pro-choice. I'm going to get the mashed potatoes. I'm going to get the salad bar. My choice is not to do the croutons this time. My choice is to do, a Dijon vinaigrette dressing. Who changes the vernacular to cover up their real political ideology? It's not the Republican Party. We call ourselves proudly conservative. We're very proud of that. And less so much about the Republican Party as being conservative. I think it's more important to be a conservative than be a Republican. But I do support the Republican Party because why? What's the difference between Democrats and Republicans? Strong central federal government versus strong state governments. So you can move if you disagree with the politics of where you are. Get it? I'm so tired of this crap. I'm tired of being called names. Hi, Marty. Hi, Myron. How are you doing? And Johnny. Johnny Rourke, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. The Republican Party is all about rule by and for billionaires at the expense of working people. I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg. He's a tried and true Democrat. George Soros. I mean, give me a friggin' break, man. There were a lot of Democrats, billionaires who donated a lot of money to the Clinton Foundation, hoping to buy influence. That foundation collapsed when Hillary Clinton lost. What is the party of billionaires? The Republican Party is the party of climate change denial. Trump is the denier-in-chief, but there are 180 climate science deniers in the current Congress, 140 in the House, 38 in Senate, and none of them are Democrats. Okay, so what? Now Jack Dorsey is trying to row back from suggestions that when he wrote Great Read for this piece by Peter Layden, he was in any way endorsing the liberal fascist sentiment of Layden's extraordinary anti-democratic screed, which again wants to make the United States a single-party rule. China. North Korea doesn't have parties, really. Name your despot. Those are one-party systems, and this D-weed, D for Richard, weed, agreed with it. Unbelievable. I've got some audio from a friend of mine, Dan Bongino. Maybe you've seen him on Fox. Also want to get into a little bit of YouTube and how they're stealing your child's information. I thought you should know that, all right? I do want to introduce a sponsor, a glorious, glorious sponsor. Pit Barrel Cookers, guys. I've got two of these bad boys. They are in my, right now in the garage, and then I'm going to be taking them out this weekend. I've got the Pit Barrel Classic, which is the one right there on the left, 18.5 inches across on top. You hang meat in it if you want to smoke meats, or if you want to slow roast meats or do kebabs. They have kebab hooks. You just put a little bit of charcoal in the bottom of it, and you light it, and you put the lid on it, and you step away. You check the meat when it gets to temperature, and it's that easy. You can put wood in it, make it a smoker. You can put a grill in it and make it a grill. Pit Barrel Jr. is perfect for tailgating. Go to LibertyOneTV.com/cooker, LibertyOneTV.com/cooker. I've got two. I'm going to be featuring videos of me using it. They're glorious. Will you please order? Will you think about it? I'd appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Dan Bongino is a big Twitter user, but he's been banned. Why has Dan Bongino been banned from Twitter? Well, he has a conservative opinion. Real quick, I'm going to take credit for putting Dan Bongino on the radio for the very first time in Washington, D.C. when he was running for his first run for public office. But here he is talking about Twitter and how he's done with it.
Ron, that's the important part.
Mm-hmm. So, we've talked a lot about Twitter, and Twitter has been banning or has gotten a lot of flack for shadow banning conservatives when they retweet and so that other people can't see them. Well, now the CEO, he liked an article that was on Twitter from a publication called Medium. The CEO, Jack Dorsey, he liked this article, which was suggesting that Democrats start a civil war, and he wrote, "Great read." What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm really sick of Twitter. I mean, I have to be there. I'm in the content production arena like Fox is, and I have to be on it. But every minute of it is troubling to me. It is not to steal the liberal snowflake term, it's not a safe space for conservatives anymore.
No.
I was banned, guys, from running ads for, quote, inappropriate content. I have no idea what that means. We scoured our Twitter feed. They've never told us what it means. I think PragerU, Dennis Prager's place, had some problem with this too. You know what inappropriate content is on Twitter for guys like me? Being a conservative. That's what's inappropriate content.
That's exactly true, guys. And you've got this massive monopoly of social media, Google, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all run by leftists. All run by leftists. This is communist China, ladies and gentlemen. This is communist China. And if you think it's any different, you're out of your nut. You try to do a search on Google, it is going to take away or guide you to something else. My friend Chris Plant was on the radio today. This is a syndicated show. He says after seeing Chappaquiddick this weekend, he decided to check in on Google and see what shows up when you type in CHAPP. Chappaqua. I mean, you literally, it will not go there until you almost spell out Chappaquiddick. And even then, it's generally positive articles about the Kennedys. Your thoughts are being manipulated. You are being guided, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. And unfortunately, we have attention spans in this country that are this long. And I speak from experience. So a lot of the times people get frustrated when they're trying to find something. But your searchers are being guided. Your searches are being guided. Diamond and Silk. You've seen Diamond and Silk, right? Diamond and Silk are this wonderful duo. These two women, they popped up in the Trump campaign, and they've got millions of followers. And about 7 months ago, they started to lose their reach for some reason. They had no idea why their reach on YouTube was plummeting. I mean, they were getting millions of views. Millions of people reached, and then all of a sudden their reach just plummeted. Their reach and their views just plummeted. And people couldn't share their videos. Here's Diamond and Silk talking on Fox News, because they ain't going to take this crap anymore, and none of us should. None of us should. And if Facebook, and if Google, and if Twitter, and if YouTube don't change their ways, then F them all. This is why it's important to join LibertyOneTV.com. This is why it's important to follow LibertyOneTV.com. Take all of the listeners over there. Take all of the viewers over there. Take the millions of people, the affiliated Facebook pages of this glorious network. They've reached 19 million people at one time. And they've been crushed. Terry Littlepage, the guy who built this thing, he had a staff of people, and they've all been fired. Tens of thousands of people have lost their jobs because several douchebags have decided to censor political speech. Pardon me for my stridency, but it really ticks me off. Here is Diamond and Silk.
Well, what happened the other day, they stopped the monetization of our videos that had been monetized for the past two years, stating that it's not suitable for all advertisers.
Okay. You can find your own advertisers. You can gear your advertising to a certain audience. Diamond and Silk have a certain following. They have a demographic. They are conservative. They are Trump supporters. Okay, there should be a reach for that group of people. What are the is every advertiser ideally suited for far left content? Is that it? More from Diamond and Silk.
And so we don't understand that. What are you talking about? Because a lot of things that we talk about is about the president, is about his agenda. You know, we are loyal supporters. So why are you stopping the monetization on our video?
Yeah, they were making a living at this. And they were creating a product for people that appreciated them. They were creating a product for followers. And that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to follow them, don't follow them. You don't want to watch them, you don't watch them. But they were given the promise, and they probably spent a lot of money boosting their posts, boosting their videos, spending money to reach people. People with satisfied customers were saying, we love this product. And then after all of that, because of their political leanings, YouTube, in this case, maybe Facebook as well, decided to demonetize them, take away their living from them, take away everything from them, just to shut them up. Unbelievable.
We think that it is discrimination, it's bias, it's prejudice, because what you're saying is if you don't speak what I want you to speak, then I'm going to withhold from you monetary gain. I'm going to thumb down your video, and I'm going to make it where your subscribers will not be able to see your platform, and that's unfair. And breach of contract.
And breach of contract. And breach of contract. 100%.
That's called censorship, and you can't do that.
Are you going to sue? What are you going to do?
Well, listen, first of all, we're going to have everybody to sign a petition because I want to know who all is going through this here. And if Google, which is owned by, Google owns YouTube, so if they don't get themselves together, remonetize our channel and stop censoring our free speech, then we're not going to have any other choice but to sue because this is wrong.
I hope they get their asses sued to the ends of the earth. I'm aware of several class actions for fraud, for antitrust, among other things, against Facebook. And to be quite honest, I hope Mark Zuckerberg gets a big slap in the effing face with reality. That he's no longer in a dorm room in Harvard fiddling around. That he is controlling a large part of the internet, social media, 2 billion followers. And rather than doing it from an unbiased perspective where all publishers are allowed to share their opinions and attract their own audiences, they've decided to say no to one group of people. I hope and pray this does not stand. I hope and pray this does not stand. And if it does, I hope they go out of business. I hope YouTube goes out of business. I hope Facebook goes out of business. I hope Twitter goes out of business. All of these, Google, hell with them. Google is a massive monopoly worldwide, and give them credit. They're great. They grew it. They did it. It's an amazing feat. They've been world changing, but now they want to sway world events by censoring what people hear and see, just like they do in China, just like they did in the Soviet Union, just like they do in Cuba. Really pretty sickening when you think about all these companies created here in a country protected by the First Amendment. It really is. It's stunning. It's stunning and it's tragic. It is tragic. It's sickening. I just honestly, there are no words. There are no words for this. It is a sad state of affairs in this country that allowed these men, these people, to create these empires, now use them to restrict what people who come to them. They don't come to Facebook. They don't come to YouTube. They don't come to Google. They don't come to Twitter looking for an ideology. They don't come to all of these and say, oh, they're liberal, so I'm going to go ahead and join. They looked at them as a free exchange of ideas, nonpartisan exchange of ideas. You can find what you want, find an audience, watch it. If you're an audience member, watch it. If you're a creator, create something within the boundaries of decency, obviously. Get a following. And it was great until it affected an election. And these social media platforms, these digital platforms decided that they were going to do their very best to affect the way you think by restricting the free flow of ideas. It's pretty sad. Let's see. Seb's on the line. Hello there, Seb. How you doing there, brother? Appreciate it. Ryan is on. Hello, Ryan. Ryan, how you doing, bud? Hope you're doing well. And Marty and Terry, all you guys. Thanks for watching and thanks for sharing. Really, really do appreciate it. I got a bunch of consumer groups are seeking a probe of YouTube over ads for kids. Consumer and activist groups called Monday for an investigation into Google-owned YouTube for allowing advertising to be targeted at children in apparent violation of U.S. law. The organization said that although YouTube claims that the site is only for users 13 and up, Google generates significant profits from kid-targeted advertising on the video sharing service without parents' permission. 23 organizations signed a complaint to the Federal Trade Commission arguing that YouTube is among the most popular online platforms for children. Google collects personal information about minors on YouTube, including location, unique device identifiers, mobile telephone numbers, uses that to target advertisements to kids across the internet, apparently without their parents' consent. It noted that YouTube contains child-oriented channels such as Choo Choo TV, nursery rhymes, and kids' songs. You have no idea the breach of your privacy. Mark Zuckerberg is going to be appearing before Congress tomorrow, and I believe the next day. You have no idea how badly your privacy has been breached. Alexa's alive all day long. Alexa's listening to you all day long. See? Your iPhone listens to you everywhere you go. So if you go to Target and you're looking for a certain kind of dog food, you just got your phone in your pocket. You know, I'm looking for whatever, Purina One. And you come home and you get on the internet, and all of a sudden, there are ads for dog food showing up. Do you have any idea how profound this is? Do you have any idea how scary this is? We've seen movies that feature the future, right? We've seen movies that feature the future that are scary, where privacy is breached and Big Brother is watching you. But I don't think, I don't think you ever imagined this. I didn't. This camera that I'm looking in right here, that camera's live all the time. Okay? Microphone on this computer is live all the time, unless you shut it off. They're listening to you. They're watching you. They're watching your kids. They're making money hand over fist. Hand over fist. And then on the other side, they're restricting free speech for some people. They're restricting freedom of expression for some people because they don't toe the line, the political line, that the big digital platforms want you to toe. It's quite remarkable. It's quite profound. It's gigantic. It's bigger than you ever imagined. It really is. And in the last 10 years, we've gone from 0 to light speed with regard to privacy. I mean, 0 to light speed. Zero. We went through 1984 when I graduated from high school. We went through 1984. And we looked at it and we thought, wow, 1984, none of this happened. Holy crap. Orwell was wrong. Orwell had no frickin' clue what was to come in the years 2008 to 2018, 2004 to 2018. That's when the concept for Facebook was created. Frightening. Just be careful, kids. That's all I got to say, man. Just be careful. All right. Joy Reid over the weekend was having she was almost orgasmic about the possibility of Donald Trump being dragged from the White House to testify by Robert Mueller. He was talking to some doofus on her show. I don't even know what the guy's name is. But she was, listen to this is almost, like I said, it's almost orgasmic to the thought. It's like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy. You close your eyes and you're like, oh yeah, woohoo, you know? Listen to Joy Reid almost orgasmically fantasizing about the possibility of Donald Trump refusing to testify if Robert Mueller directed him to, or a federal judge directed him to, regardless of whatever the scandal is, and being dragged out of the White House. Listen to this woman. It's pure fantasy.
One way to enforce it is to have Donald Trump taken by the federal marshals and put in federal prison until he testifies.
What if he refuses to open the White House door? What if the secret,
This is all like, what if UFOs land in the Rose Garden and the president won't come out and talk to the aliens?
Well, what if he fires any Secret Service agent who would allow the federal marshals in? What if Donald Trump simply decides, I don't have to follow the law. I refuse to be.
This is all falderall. This is all ruminations of a sick, twisted liberal mind.
Held under the law. No marshal can get into this White House, and any Secret Service agent that defies me is fired.
Well, at some point, he's going to have to come out of the White House. At some point, he's going to have.
This is all, just sheer speculative nonsense.
To leave. And the U.S. Marshals will be directed to take him into custody, bring him before the federal district court judge. He'll be basically told that either he goes in and he testifies or he takes the Fifth Amendment. If he takes the Fifth Amendment, there's not a problem. If he refuses to answer on the ground that a truthful answer would tend to incriminate him, he has the right to do that.
Okay, this is all nonsense. Joy Reid is on MSNBC over the weekend. I don't know what the hell it's called. Morning Joy, whatever. And she never challenges anyone, no matter how extreme, how incorrect their views are. She perpetuates fantasy. She perpetuates lies. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen on Fox News. There are people who have political opinions. Obviously, Sean Hannity. We'll get to his news in just a second. But Joy Reid, she is a perpetrator of propaganda. And for her to bring this up, and like CNN, I've told you about the CNN. CNN, one day, 2 months ago, decided to say that Donald Trump was mentally ill. So the entire day was devoted to having mental health experts on, doing more of this fantasy, saying that he's got early onset Alzheimer's, dementia, which is nonsense. He has none of those things. But that was the story for a day. Joy Reid comes up with this crap on a Sunday morning or whatever the hell day she's on. Okay, just out of makes it up out of whole cloth. Never challenged by anybody about it. Never challenged by anyone about it. Pure fantasy. Unbelievable. All right, let's move on here. We got some other stuff to get to. Jimmy Kimmel has apologized to Sean Hannity. I don't know if you knew this. Jimmy Kimmel made fun of Melania Trump's accent a couple weeks ago. Sean Hannity said that it was a despicable disgrace, and then they got into a pissing match. That's what they did. Addressing Hannity directly, Kimmel said he takes the Fox News anchor at his word that he was genuinely offended by what I believed and still believed to be a harmless and silly aside referencing our First Lady's accent. But if you did Pidgin Chinese, or if you made fun of whatever's accent, if it's somebody on the left, they would be terribly offended and you'd lose your job. Hannity's going to respond on his show tonight, I guess, 9 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. I just, I don't have time for pissing matches. I certainly don't have time for social media pissing matches. People do that on Facebook and Twitter. They'll get into pissing matches. They'll pick a fight and whatever. And it's absurd. It's absurd. I think we need to be adults here. Sean Hannity had the right to say that Jimmy Kimmel was inappropriate in his criticism of Melania Trump's accent, of all things. Then Jimmy Kimmel went after Sean Hannity in a very sexual, weird way, I guess kind of inferring things about his sexuality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it degraded into yuck. I think Sean Hannity can claim the moral high ground, certainly intellectually. But on social media, we don't have that ability. We get into these idiotic political pissing matches that are giant circle fests that result in nothing. It's a dog chasing its tail and it never goes anywhere. I don't engage in that crap. I just don't have time for it anymore. If you say something indignifying toward me or insulting toward me, I may challenge you and say, really, is that all you got? And then I'll just remove your comment and then I'll just block you. Because I don't have time for that crap. I just don't have time for it. Do not. Marcia says, yeah, the Jimmy Kimmel thing was racist. It was racist. Absolutely racist. So Syria bombed with chemical weapons civilians over the weekend. It looks like Israel retaliated. The American media are saying that, and this, I want you to listen to me carefully here, because the left media in this country is saying that because Donald Trump a week ago said he was thinking about removing troops, American troops from Syria, that this precipitated the chemical weapon attack by Bashar al-Assad and possibly Vladimir Putin on Syrian civilians, which I believe killed 40 people. Let me point out how absurd that is, okay? If you want the United States to pull out of your country, you lay low. Nothing happens. If you want the United States military to leave your country, you lay low. You do not do anything that would cause the United States military to react. You'll recall about 6 months ago, I believe, Bashar al-Assad dropped chemical weapons on a group of civilians, and Donald Trump sent in airstrikes and took out the damned airstrip where the sorties were launched. What Bashar al-Assad did by doing another chemical attack is made Donald Trump say, okay, now we're going to bomb the snot out of you, and we're not going anywhere. Barack Obama did the opposite in Iraq. He gave a timeline when we would be leaving. The radical Islamists, particularly ISIS, laid low, waited for the U.S. to leave. And that's when ISIS grew at a dramatic fashion. That's when ISIS grew into a very large organization. The last few years of the Obama administration, Donald Trump and like-minded friends of the United States in Iraq are kicking the snot out of ISIS. And now they're like that. This wasn't because of Donald Trump saying that he was pulling out American troops. The exact opposite would happen. The exact opposite. The government would lay low, let the troops leave, then kick the snot out of the civilians. Makes no sense whatsoever. John Kerry, a few years ago, 2014, he was convinced that Barack Obama's policies were working beautifully in Syria, and there were no more chemical weapons in Syria, by the way.
But the facts could not be more clear. The United States of America has never been more engaged in helping to lead in more places than we are now. The rise of ISIS, chemical weapons in Syria. The United States was getting slapped by countries like Syria and Iraq and Mexico during the Obama administration.
Back from China, where we are engaged with the Chinese in dealing with North Korea, and you will notice that.
Yeah, sure, yeah. North Korea, what a marvelous success story the Obama administration had with North Korea as their nuclear arsenal swole. Now North Korea is saying, we might be interested in getting rid of it altogether.
Since the visit last year, North Korea has been quieter. We haven't done what we want to do yet with respect to the denuclearization, but we are working.
You never did anything about it. You had a worthless Iran nuclear deal that allowed them to enrich uranium, and they could turn around weaponized uranium and create nuclear bombs on a heartbeat because of the Iran nuclear deal that allowed Iran to enrich uranium wholesale.
On that and moving forward. With respect to Syria, we struck a deal where we got 100% of the chemical weapons out.
Wait. What are they bombing them civilians with then?
With respect to Iraq, we are deeply involved now in the process of government formation.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. But unfortunately, ISIS is forming too, you moron.
Helping the Iraqis to be able to choose a government of unity that can reunite it.
Fail. I mean, just honestly. Fail. Thank you, Secretary of State Chamberlain. Here's a story. One of these kids who were shot up in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School just got out of the hospital. This kid was shot 5 times. He was the last kid to be released from the hospital. Alex Ariza. And he and his family are mad. They are hurt. There were so many ways the ball was dropped in Broward County, by the Sheriff's Department, by the administration of the school, by the frigging FBI, which is more concerned about raiding Donald Trump's personal attorney today for information on a porn star. They were called 3 times about the shooter. Officials at the school 25 times were called. We're disciplining this kid for threats of violence. This kid would walk around and shake people's hands and say, "I'm a school shooter." Okay, you idiots. Broward County Sheriff's Department called to the home of the shooter 29 times in the last several years. All of these things pointing to this kid was going to do it, to the point that everybody in the school knew when they heard the shots, they knew who was doing it. Here's a little bit from this brave young man, shot 5 times. And by the way, he's not appearing on MSNBC and CNN and using profanity. He's not promoting a march for life or whatever the hell it was in Washington, D.C., an anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment march paid for by George Soros and other like-minded leftists. He was just getting well. He was just a victim of really piss-poor policy by the school, by the Obama administration, by the Broward County Sheriff's Department, and by the FBI.
We're not as fortunate to survive as I was. I don't know why I survived, and they didn't. But
by the way, this is his attorney, in case you didn't know. No, this is Alex Ariza. He's the attorney. I apologize. I want to make sure I get this right. Anthony Borges is the student.
I tell you that my family and I will dedicate the rest of our lives to seeing that something like this never happens again. To the other injured, I hope you are recovering well. We have the responsibility to tell the world what happened here. To Sheriff Israel of the Broward County Sheriff's Office and Robert Runcie, the superintendent of the school and schools in Broward, I want to thank you for visiting me at the hospital. But I want to say that both of you failed us students, teachers, and parents alike on so many levels.
Yep.
I want to ask you today to please end your policy and agreement that you will not arrest people committing crimes in our school.
They don't arrest students. It was a Barack Obama policy because more people of color, students of color, were being impacted, even though the students of color were committing more crimes. They wanted to prevent the trail from high school to jail by avoiding a real gigantic cultural phenomena, which is African-American kids getting into more trouble, Hispanic kids getting into more trouble, coming from broken homes. Broken kids creating broken schools, committing crime, but not the authorities couldn't do a damn thing about it. That's what it's all about. London Mayor Sadiq Khan. I used to joke, by the way, because every time there's some sort of a shooting or whatever, people in this country go after the Second Amendment. They want comprehensive gun control, comprehensive gun safety. This is another one, as I talked earlier about, masking your true identity by changing the vernacular. Progressive. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a liberal. I'm a progressive. I'm progressive. You can only be progressive if you're liberal. You can't be progressive if you are for low taxes and smaller government. It's not progressive, right? See what I mean? I'm pro-choice. I'm not pro-abortion. Pro-choice. But every time, there's there have been, say, for instance, in New York, there was a radical Islamist who ran down a bunch of people with a Home Depot truck. I said, we need comprehensive truck rental control, truck rental safety measures. And somebody attacks a bunch of people with a machete or a knife. I say, we need comprehensive knife control. Well, that's what they're doing in London. Unbelievable. Sadiq Khan, the failure as mayor of London, is implementing knife control. Deployed over 300 additional London police officers to the city's most crime-ridden neighborhoods to stop and search anyone they suspect of carrying a knife. Violation of the Fourth Amendment in this country, but in England, they can do that. Khan has established a violent crime task force with 120 officers that will focus solely on violent crime, weapon-enabled crime, and serious criminality. Also investing $150 million in London's police department, $50 million in a youth program designed to steer youth away from violent crime. That won't work because it's a cultural problem. He said, no excuses. There's never a reason to carry a knife. Anyone who does will be caught, and they will feel the full force of the law. And because you have a knife, whatever, you could spend 4 years in prison. Folding blades, by the way, are not good. Residents, it's illegal for a resident to carry without good reason a knife with a folding blade larger than 3 inches. Using a knife in a threatening way is also illegal. By the way, during his mayoral campaign, another failed faceplant liberal policy. Khan said he would do everything in his power to cut, stop, and search. He says that undermined public confidence in local government and policing system, but now he's all for it because people are getting all stabby. And the murder rate in London is higher than in New York City. Where there's a will, the way. What is next? What is next? Comprehensive baseball bat control, safety measure, I mean, there's a million ways you can kill somebody. Comprehensive screwdriver control, comprehensive car driving control, because that's what the Muslims are doing right now. Radical Muslims, they're just running over people. I want to wrap things up with on a funny note here. I think you're going to enjoy this. There's a kid who apparently Shelly McCullers sent her son Anthony to Travis Elementary on Wednesday. Thought she got a McDonald's logo T-shirt. Apparently, it was obscene. It was obscene. This has been shared hundreds of thousands of times. I'm not sure where she got this shirt. I think she must have gotten it at it was received in a box of hand-me-down clothes for Anthony from a friend. Now it looks like the McDonald's Golden Arches, but what it really is, well, I'm going to show you and I'll explain. It is women's legs in high heels in a prone position, sticking up left and right like the McDonald's arches, and the middle of the arch is her happy place. Here is Anthony after being sent home from school with the shirt that Mom didn't realize was obscene.
Me and Mom 2 baskets with boy clothes, and this was one of the shirts in it. I thought it was like McDonald's.
This poor kid. See what I mean?
Teacher.
Yeah, you guys are watching on video. Oh, my goodness. Wow. This kid goes to school, and the expression is, I'm loving it. And it's got a woman basically in a prone position, ready for takeoff, ready for, a missionary position somewhere. And this kid's wearing it. He had no clue.
Stop here or anything? No. They thought it was McDonald's, too.
I don't know if you'd call that a Happy Meal or not. Whatever. Oh. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Episode number 261 of the Rob Carson Show podcast, available on iTunes. Just look up Rob Carson Show. Also, if you get a chance, will you please consider joining LibertyOneTV.com. LibertyOneTV.com. It's a glorious institution. Also, want to remind you, I do have a line of politically incorrect garb. It is available on tpublic.com. Just look for Conservatees, a variety of really cool, over 75 designs of politically incorrect stuff you can have on T-shirts, you can have on hats, you can have on mouse pads, mugs, the whole deal. And I'd appreciate it because I'm trying to make a living. All right. Also, Pit Barrel Cookers. Order one, baby. Grilling season come up. Father's Day's coming up. LibertyOneTV.com/cooker. LibertyOneTV.com/cooker. It is a veteran-owned company, and the products are spectacular. And if you're watching on video right now, all that food there on the right, I did that. All right? I appreciate you watching tonight, guys. God bless you. Thank you very much. Again, LibertyOneTV.com. LibertyOneTV.com. Have a glorious evening. God bless. And I will see you here tomorrow, same time.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram. I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon.